Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Paranormal Coffee Talk. I'm Crystal.
Carol.
She can talk tonight, y'all. A little bit. She still ain't 100%, but she's a little better than she was. It has been another busy week, nonstop. Go, go, go. But I feel like that's everyone's lives right now with school starting back. My daughter had her first day of school today. She is a senior, so that's fun. It has just been very busy. So we, just because she's virtual, we went and picked up all of her stuff and started her work today. So she plans on finishing up high school in December so she can get on out here. But yeah, it's been busy. We're just trying to get all of our schedules and everything ready for the new year and figuring everything out. So I'm not going to go over our events. We just did those on Monday night with Miss Sonia. So we're going to hop right into it. Tonight, we have our special guest as Danan. She is a dear friend of mine. Danan and I met back in 2021 through TikTok, just, randomly scrolling through. She was on my FYP and I said, as soon as I get back to Alabama, I'm going to come see you. And that's what I did. And we've been friends ever since. I love her. She's just absolutely phenomenal. And I told Carol, I said, we got to have her on the show. She's got so many amazing stories. She's traveled all over the place. And she has this amazing, cute little store in Greenville, Alabama. And you can go in there and you can ask her questions, anything that has to do with herbal remedies, medicines. She has metaphysical items. She's got some of the most comfortable t-shirts. I don't pass by that location without stopping in because and the energy, you can't beat the energy when you go into Sweetheart, Alabama. So tonight we have my friend Danan, all the way from Greenville, Alabama.
Hey.
Not too far for me. Too far for me. It's only like an hour and 5 minutes. But, still, all the way in Greenville, Alabama. And it's Greenville, y'all. Not
it's
Greenville. It's Greenville. Got to put the "ul" at the end of everything in Alabama. I'm in Prattville, and she's in Greenville. So,
indeed.
Oh, it goes. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing great. Thank y'all for having me.
Oh, thanks.
I'm excited.
Yeah, it is. I hadn't got over there in a few months, so
I didn't know it had been since 2021. Did you say
2021? Yep, the fall of 2020.
Well, that's when you went viral on TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
We've been friends since you had like
indeed.
7,000 followers.
I know.
Yeah. I was one of the first ones you actually followed back.
You're an OG.
I'm an OG Sweetheart, Alabama fan.
That's funny. We were talking about OG the other night too. I was like, I had to Google it and see what OG meant.
It's whatever we want it to mean. That's what it means.
Yeah. So we wanted to bring you on, talk about, because you do have so many amazing stories. And I just want more of the world, especially the paranormal world, to hear some of your stories. You've traveled, you've been Louisiana, Tennessee, Tuscaloosa, because it's a roll tide, roll life. You've been all over. And you came back home to Greenville, Alabama, and opened up your little shop, Sweetheart, Alabama. But it wasn't in the shop. It was in an Airstream.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know what I wanted to do except come home, just come back, spend time with my family. Mm-hmm. And the Airstream thing was just kind of like, let's see what happens.
Yeah.
And and you park an Airstream on the side of the road and people will stop and say, what's going on here?
Got going on in there?
You wouldn't believe how many people asked me if I had hot dogs.
Well, we might be able to come up with some. Come on in.
And I thought, dang, I had the wrong idea. Food.
Hot dogs or tacos.
Now, anybody that does not know Danan, this woman right here can come up with any business idea. You just give her a word, and here she is. Like, let's do this. We got a business idea. She has this business brain. So she.
Yeah, I don't know if it's that, but
you do.
I think it's just being I'm
Creative.
open to my own goofiness.
But you're so creative in your goofiness too. So like there's,
Yeah.
you know, we got healing hootenannies. Like
Oh,
we love our
yeah.
healing hootenanny ideas. Like that, I think that
did.
lasted. I mean, we still talk about it,
Yeah.
you know, because Cuz is on there. She talks with us. We got everybody. We got people all over the world that come to TikTok. And I mean, you know, at one point, I think we had on our Tuesdays and Sunday nights when we would go on TikTok live with Danan, we had, I mean, hundreds of people jumping on there.
Yeah.
And people,
that's coming back. That is, you know, with me moving, I moved and just trying to get everything together with what I want to do and how I want to change my website up a little bit. I still do energy healing for people.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. It, you know, we have this community, another community for women, and for men. And it is just our support group. I think some of us have met through your lives and we've become friends, you know. We've got Ken over in Eufaula and he came into the shop and now he sends me
he's
ideas.
awesome.
I love you, Ken. And I told him you were going to be on tonight.
Hey,
But
Ken, if you're there.
Yeah, it's just a community where, you know, you made a safe space for all of us to come and release all of that, you know, pain. And, you know, even during, you know, because even during COVID and all this that we had going on, we needed some place after all of that to be able to come and have our energy healing sessions. And it was a place that I know many of us looked forward to on Sundays and Tuesdays. So to have it back, I'm excited.
Yeah, it's coming back and it's going to be better than ever. I'm going to add a little subscription side to that for things that are more, so that I can maybe address some more specific issues for people. And so I think it's going to be fun. And I think the healing hootenanny might still happen.
I think we need to make it happen.
I know, right?
I think it needs to happen. You know, I think with all of our ideas, you know, we got Kaneka sausage going on. We already have a location. We've already been offered a field. So, I mean,
wow, that's awesome. Yeah.
What was his name you remember who it was, don't you, that offered us this field there? We'll have to go back through and look at our friends.
We will find it.
It's been years. It's been years now. So
we will find it. Everything will all work out the way it's supposed to.
It will. So tell a little bit, you know, when we'll go back to the Airstream and your idea, it was part between the Taco Bell. And
that was early on. Yeah, that was a real experiment. And then I moved downtown Greenville, which is where I always wanted to be. I actually moved the Airstream downtown Greenville for a couple of months. That was amazing. And then a location opened up, which is where I'm at now. And
I love the location.
It felt right. And I have a bit of a paranormal story about that too.
Oh yes.
But it just felt like the right place to be the minute I looked at it. And it has been, I can't tell you how much of my happy place that is, that location that I'm at. By the way, I'm at 100 East Commerce Street in downtown Greenville, Alabama. You can visit anytime. I'm open 10 to 5 weekdays and 10 to 1 on Saturdays. Would you like to hear one of the paranormal stories?
Let's go. I've heard it, but I want the whole world to hear it. So
well, now this might be, I don't know if I've told you this one about the lady who came in.
No, I don't know this one. So yeah, let's talk.
Early on, when I had opened the shop, a lady, just, you wouldn't think she was, you know, this normal gal like us, walks in, shops for a little while. We have a pleasant time. She has her hand on the door to leave. Turns around and says, okay, listen, I'm a medium.
Oh, yes, I have heard this one.
Okay. And she said, everyone in here, and there's a lot of people, they want me to tell you how happy they are that you're here. And I was like, oh. And she said, I'm learning this, and I've been working with a medium in New York to kind of improve my skills, but no one here in this entire state knows. And she goes, because I go to a church and people would freak out. And she says, I don't know how to explain to them that I've had this since I was a kid. You know what I mean? And so, so I hope wherever she is, I don't even know her name. Like, I don't know her, but you know, she's from the area, I guess. And I just hope the best for her. I hope she's developed that, you know.
Yeah. And if she follows us, or if she's out there, you know who you are. So reach out to Danan. She's still in the same location. And she'd love to chat with you, because I know we talked about that story last year. When in one of our conversations in the shop. That's, you know, we love to conversate in the shop. So
And you know what, also, I'd love to give her a hug.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, you know, she gave you an insight to, you know, why this location not only chose you, but, you know, embraced you and is guiding you through your adventures.
Yeah.
So,
Indeed.
I mean, you know, and again, this is people from all over the world have stopped into your shop. I think we've gotten Italy, right? Italy's been in.
I can't, you know, the Netherlands, Germany, Australia.
Nice.
Maybe all over the world.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's kind of like, you know, you have this reach across the pond, and even to the northern states. I mean, we've got people that, I mean, myself, I was in Maryland at the time. And so, you know, it became so a place where all of us could come together and, you know, be us and be goofy and still be able to get an, you know, healing session, or call you up and ask questions about, you know, a supplement, or,
and
you know,
anytime. And, you know, I don't mind that, because, and here's why, is even if somebody isn't able to shop in my shop, they can still call me, and people have. You know, people can call me and I can say, hey, I've got an Amazon link. You can still shop through me. And this is how I've done this, y'all. I don't ship stuff out myself. And the reason why is, oh, hey, Virgil. So I don't ship stuff out myself. I don't have a big inventory, but I do things through affiliate links. So I'm totally okay with someone just saying, hey, what should I take for this? Do you have a suggestion? And I can shoot them a link, and it's still, you know, an affiliate sale for me.
Exactly. So, and I mean, numerous times I've called her up and been like, all right, what do I need? And she's like, hold on, let me get you a link. And she'll send it to me. I buy it off, and then here it comes, you know.
Totally fine with that. And if I can, the reason why I want people to talk to herbalists before they go buy supplements is it's not a safe industry. I'm sorry, but it's not. There's too many fake supplement companies out there. And so one of the things that I think I specialize in really is knowing which companies you can trust
and where to stay away. You don't know how many supplements over the years I have sent to Danan. She's like, don't buy that. That belongs to a realtor.
Oh yeah. I mean,
it's true, because they go and, you know, create these, put a label on something. They have no idea what they're doing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, let's move.
Listen, it works. And it's a formula that makes a lot of people a lot of quick money. And you'll see something really, really advertised on a social media site like Facebook. They'll be gone in a year. They'll make so much money. You'll never see them again. If you have a problem with the product, sometimes they'll still be charging your credit card, you know? So that's what I'm trying to educate people as much as anything else about how, there are ways to know. There are ways to know if you can trust a company.
Oh yeah, and there's people that are out there that have claimed to be doctors, modern functional medicine doctors. They're going to cure what ails you, and you take all your money, and here you are, $10,000 later, and you're no better than you were when you started.
Yeah, 100 years ago, that was a snake oil salesman.
Yeah. Now it's a TikTok doc. It's a TikTok docs.
They're still around.
Yeah, they're just in different skins. They were different skins now. So, and that's just a huge, huge thing that I've seen, more and more often as, TikTok has evolved into what it is today. But anybody can be anything on there.
Oh yeah.
You can be anything. You want to be something, just go to TikTok. They'll make it happen.
Why not?
Yeah.
I found a cure.
Yeah.
For something.
So let's talk about, because we spend a lot of time in Louisiana.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about your time in Louisiana.
Well, New Orleans, I was there pre-Katrina. And so I feel like I was in kind of the glory days before Katrina happened. I actually left the year before Katrina. So I was there in the 90s up until, 04, 03. And it was a special time in New Orleans because the 90s were just fun anyway. I don't know if y'all remember the 90s, but they were fun. And New Orleans was such a fun place then. Now, was it the schmurder capital of the world? Yes, probably. But it wasn't as dangerous as it is now.
Yeah.
And but yeah, had a lot of fun and spent a lot of time in the French Quarter and met a lot of crazy people and fun and loving. You know what I love about Louisiana is you can, as soon as you step foot in Louisiana, somebody's going to hug you.
Oh yeah.
They're going to hug you. They're going to kiss you on the cheek. They're going to try to feed you something. And now,
you ain't never going to leave Louisiana hungry ever. And I have my Louisiana spirits people here to tell you the truth, because they don't ever let us leave hungry. When we go on events and stuff with Louisiana spirits, just going to be a part of their events, whatever, and we walk away with homemade jambalaya. We walk away from there with king cakes, big old king cakes.
Yeah.
I mean, we never leave that place hungry ever. And Carol lived there, so she gets fed more at the Louisiana Spirits events and Cajun Country Paracon than she does when she's at home. So
yeah,
you can go into grocery stores here and they're feeding you.
Yeah.
So it's
love food. That's one thing I love about Louisiana is food.
It's a great place, and the people, the food, and the people. And New Orleans was very much that way, that there was such an openness with everyone that people were just like, they're just like, oh, who are you? Let's talk. People are so open to meet each other. And I think it is called the city that care forgot. And I think it's because there was always such a feeling of just whatever comes. Well, we'll enjoy it, not we'll handle it. Not we'll deal with it. We will enjoy it. We will live to the fullest in it, whatever it is.
Let the good times roll. That's all it is. Let the good times roll. Have fun. And they came through so much, especially after Katrina. And they overcome so much.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. There's always some kind of disaster here in Louisiana, but those people pull together and they're just. You never meet a stranger, that's for sure.
I agree. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we got a bot in the comments, I think, so we're gonna take care of that real quick. But yeah, it is. It's very, very different now. I don't like back in the 90s. I loved, when my aunt would say, "Hey, let's go to New Orleans or something for the weekend." Okay, let's go. Now when people say let's go, and I'm like, why? That's the first question I ask is why, like being on the interstate and headed that way, you can smell it. I'm like, wow, I don't want to go down there. I can't do it.
You guys, I've been back once since
Yeah.
Katrina, and I lived there for 12 years. And it just did something blow away that with Katrina. I don't know. It just all of a sudden seemed like a very different place to me.
It does have a different vibe because I've
Yeah.
been there.
Yeah. But now look, there's a lot of people who've stayed and it's been they've made it a wonderful place for them. And, you know, they're still carrying on. And I absolutely love that. And, and thankful for them because, you know, what a wonderful city.
Yeah. It is.
Really.
Virgil, unfortunately, we don't read futures. We can't help you with that. There's plenty of people that can, but we don't do that. It's not our area, but thanks for stopping in. And I can say that Carol lives up in Louisiana in the Denham Springs area near Baton Rouge. Again, I go because I love her. But I don't love the place. It's just, I like the food. I do like certain areas of Louisiana. Like if you put me over in like New Iberia or, loved Opelousas, Louisiana. But down there, 1210, not my favorite.
Yeah.
At all.
I never leave my hood.
Yeah.
Stay in the Springs.
Yeah, we go like a mile down the road when we go to see Carol. Like that's where we go, a mile down the road.
There's everything right here where I live, so there's no need to hit the interstate.
And if she's coming to my house,
it's a small, big town. It's a small town with big things.
Yeah, exactly. And we like order food and have it delivered. And I'm like, hey, bring that with me. Bring that with you to my house. So I'll make her go and make sure she brings the food when she comes to Alabama.
Well, I have to pass the Rouse on my way to your house. So Rouse's Market. I love that grocery store.
I remember Rouse's.
Yeah, I know.
Sure.
When we first moved here, me and my husband were like, you want to go to Rouse's? Just walk around. There's so many different things.
So many.
Where are you going?
Awesome.
You going grocery shopping? No, we're just going to go walk around.
Yeah, and I can get Raging Cajun, y'all, at the commissary now on base. They now have Raging Cajun foods.
Awesome.
So I love it. I'm like, yay, bring me all that. I need it. Bring it home with me. Love it. So tell us some more places that you traveled to in your early years before you came back to Alabama and settled down.
So I'm going to tie this in with some paranormal stuff, if
There
that's
you
okay
go.
with you
Yeah,
guys.
love it.
I'm not going to say publicly where this place is in Tuscaloosa.
Okay. We're going to talk about it. Okay.
There's a secret trail in Tuscaloosa. I'm not going to say it because I don't want people going there because it's definitely off limits, or it was when I went there.
You still can't. Yeah, you still can't.
Yeah, still cannot go there. But of course I did with some friends. So it's a bit of a walk. And where you end up, I would say about a half mile through this walk is still a trail, is a burned out building. And part of that building was built underground. So industrial type building. So the burned out areas, not a problem. Walk around. There's a door going to an underground area that is open, just abandoned and open. I was with 3 other people and none of us could pass through the door. None of us physically could not make ourselves do it. So I'm like, Tuscaloosa, huh? On the banks of the Black Warrior River, which historically would have a lot of stuff there. So I don't know what that was about. I don't know if you guys come in contact. Surely you come in contact with, well, I'm making an assumption here, with a private residence than something that a place where people didn't live. But I guess that doesn't really matter if it's in an area that might historically have like Native American
Yeah, and one thing that I've looked at from that location
Water.
is
For
the
one.
And
water.
water. Yeah.
And from where that's at, if you go south to some of the, historically haunted location in Alabama, Cahaba,
Oh
in
yeah.
the archaeological parks, all of that is just south on the water.
Yeah.
And so, you have so many, water ties a lot of, and the energy that comes with water, and the energy that comes with vibrations. Even going back to when we did our little afternoon investigation there in Greenville next to the railroad tracks, the vibration that hold energies. And that doesn't surprise me when it comes to the historical parts of lands, because like I think I told Tommy, he's one of our friends over in the UK, you hear about seeing ghosts in the Victorian era. You see more Victorian era. I saw her in a long dress, and she was in a white dress. There's always a lady in the white dress.
Right.
Always. Every state they have that. But most of the era is Victorian. And one thing that I've noticed, though, even we have people from the UK, we have people from the Netherlands, we have people all over, and it surprises me that we don't see someone coming up and saying, I saw a Viking warrior out on the battlefield, or I saw a Scottish warrior on, the battlefield in Scotland. You don't see that or hear of those things as often. That's what I want to hear more about. I want to hear more about things that you don't normally hear about. I saw a Native American. I heard the drums. I heard the chants. And we have heard those in our investigations. We've heard the drums and the chants that we could not figure out where they came from.
Yeah, that was crazy.
And
but we have seen soldiers.
We've seen soldiers, and again, but that still dates back to the Victorian era, the Civil War. But to be able to see something, I would love it. I would love to be able to tie, an apparition, and be able to, put that in with what we have, our Native Americans, or
so that brings me to ask you, have you been to Moundville?
Yes.
Speaking of that area and water.
Yeah.
So one of the most profound meditative things that have ever happened to me was on the top of the main mound. The tall one at Moundville. And without meaning to, I just wanted to go early in the morning and go see Moundville, right?
Yeah.
Where there weren't a lot of people there. Before a lot of people got there, right when they opened, I went. And I was like, oh, first mound. Let me just walk up to the first mound at the top. It's the one that has the building on top of it. And
I haven't been, so I don't.
It's amazing.
It's
amazing. So it's the first mound you come to, and it is the tallest one. So you get on top of that. They've actually built a bench there. So that being said, I'm always want to be very respectful. Of native sites, but they built a bench there. It's not like I decided to sit down in the middle of it and meditate. I actually was just going to sit and rest because it was a tall mound.
It was a trek for sure.
It was a trek. So I sat on the bench, and it was just such a beautiful day. And there's nobody there, and I'm just like, this is the time, especially because I was going through some things, and I thought, let me just meditate real quick, or just sit in silence, whatever it was. And boom, I was somewhere else, or sometime else, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Very much feeling transported, safe, had a few minute meditation. I'm going to say it was transcendental. because I have had a little bit of experience with that. I don't try it. I'm not, one of those. I'm not trying to do that,
Yeah.
but it will happen if you meditate every day. Things will happen.
Oh yeah.
And so then I'm kind of like looking around, and I'll be damned if there's a bunch of people. Like, everybody came while I was meditating. There are people walking around behind me. There's cars in the parking lot, I was like, what, how much time? So Moundville, I think to me, it's very special, but archaeologically and historically, I think we have no idea. We're like monkeys in the nuclear power plant when it comes to places like that.
And that's where we're very respectful to these sites and anything that we do. I mean, even the battlegrounds that we go to, like, we do not leave unless we've, thanked them for allowing us to be there. And we always close out our investigations at the battlefields playing taps, like, just to give that respect to them. And, and I feel like even when they are talking about, like we were in Sicily Island, Louisiana, and there are mounds there in Sicily Island. And there you can go out into near the river bank and see the mounds from a distance because it's on private property. But we don't know what we've walked upon, or, grave, who's buried long before us. I know growing up in South Alabama over in Ozark, we lived, our house backed up to hundreds of acres. And we as kids, they were all like, sand beds back there and different trails and stuff. And we'd go back there and start sifting through all this sand and walk out of there with buckets full of flint and arrowheads.
Yeah.
That was right there in my backyard. And I know there's a lot of people here that still can do the same thing in central Alabama, the river region. Cindy, who lived here in Millbrook, and she lives in a house that she's lived in since the 70s. And she goes into her backyard to work in her flower bed and can hit, break a tip off of an arrowhead.
Yeah, she's got a lot of cool things.
Oh yeah.
Last time we were there, she was showing us some of it, and I was like, "Oh wow!" But it's kids too. Even where I lived in Buggy Bayou, we dug up all kinds of stuff. I mean, you just don't know
for how long that they were there, and working with the Smithsonian and volunteering with different locations and doing archaeological digs, things like that up in Maryland. You really it opens your eyes to see what's in these rivers or on the banks of these rivers next to them that are buried in the ground. And it goes on and on from there. It really does.
Yeah. And I wish there was more of I wish we were studying it more. I wish there was more of an archaeological, I think a lot of have that feeling that, they've already found everything they could find here. And they did that in the 1800s or the early 1900s. And I think and that's not true, but we don't, have you heard of an archaeological dig in the U.S., in the Southeast recently? I haven't.
There's actually a group. Yeah, Blakely does it. A lot of the state parks.
Right.
Yeah,
just
a lot
recently.
of the state parks do it. Another Tuscaloosa, for the University of Alabama, they have their own archaeological program.
Yeah,
and they go
down. That's
they go down. Most of every state park in the state of Alabama, most of the state parks in the South will have some type of archaeological. It's not all the time, a few times a year. But I know,
I
up
wish
in
they
Maryland,
would do more around here for sure, because there's stuff around here.
I know. Where was the one that was south of Pineapple?
There needs to be more for sure,
but
not a lot of.
There is, if they're not state parks, they don't really care,
Yeah,
it's just it's the state funded locations, and the things that you can find at some of these state parks. So imagine what we could find if we just said, "Hey, Joe, let's go. Can we come dig at your property?"
Oh my gosh, could you imagine?
Coming to your backyard in a town near you.
We may need to add an archaeological dig to our Healing Hoot Nanny.
Yeah, why not? Why not? You know, let me put a plug in for somebody in well, you know, there in Braggs, Alabama, there was an intact dinosaur skeleton found.
I did not know that.
Yes. And then also near there's a new group of people. I'll get you in touch with these guys. It's called Historic Cornwallis. And not only do they give tours, they give herbal tours. They do all kinds of things and do history walks and things like that. So, and it's private property. It's a private farm, you know, started by two brothers, and they want to do history tours. And so they talk about the history of just that area. I wish more people did stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
that's where our heart lies with all of this, you know, like as a nonprofit, we go out and we hunt, you know, with groups, or we paranormal investigate, but we love helping these historic locations and preserving the history of these locations.
I love that y'all do that. That is so cool. And when you explained that to me, I was like, oh my God, Crystal's so cool. Like, this is so neat. Yeah.
And it's just, you know, that's where our passion lies, is making sure that the history is being preserved and keeping it historically accurate, because that's a big thing. And I tell people a lot, and I mean, Danan and Carol, you both know, when you're in the South, honey, that gossip phone starts ringing. But by the time it's, you know, I know when we were kids in school, we always played the telephone game, and we'd tell one person and then you tell the other person. And by the time you got back to it around, that story was completely different than the way it started. And that's what has happened in so many legends, historical events in the South, is the telephone game.
Also, let me put a little plug in for wherever you live, whoever is watching this, wherever you live, please support your local historical societies.
Yes.
These are the people that are safeguarding the actual history, not the rumors. These are the people who are making sure that your local history is preserved. Ours is very strong. We have a really strong historical society. And I can't tell you how many times I've been able to go to their little room in the library and look up something that they have filed away, and they've made it easy for me to see. The building that my shop is in was built in the late 1800s. And so I can see the history of it. It was the opera house, and all these vaudeville shows and silent movies were shown there. And so how would I have ever known that if we didn't have a historical society to preserve that? They need funding. They need your volunteer hours. I promise you that if you can go find them and offer your help, they will say, yes, please. Thank you.
And that's it. And, you know, Carol and I, we work with the Historical Society in Bullock County, Alabama, which is where we go to the Union Springs Bullock County Jail, the Poly Jail. And her sister is actually the one that bought a house over in Pineapple, and has opened it up to like this little tea time place over in Pineapple. Yeah, I'll send you her link. And they've had like ice cream socials. It's just this cute little, you know,
that's awesome,
cute little place over there. Gorgeous little cottage with a white picket fence, you know. And the people you meet, and it's such a small world here in the South. People don't realize how small the South is. You know, like here I am from the other side of, you know, Alabama, and I meet Danan, and we become friends, and we talk about all kinds of random crap, but it's absolutely the most hilarious thing. I'll call her up. Y'all ain't even gonna kid. This is what our conversation. She'll be thinking about me, and I'll call. And she was like, I was just thinking about you. I was like, we did it again.
Yeah.
You know, and then we'll talk for like 45 minutes to an hour about just something just completely random about you know, we have, it's just, you just never know. You never know. We're like, but we are the epitome of Southern women. Just
exactly.
hilarious, but we have so much fun.
This show goes. We start on one thing and we wind up squirreling over here, squirrel over
exactly.
there, more squirrel.
And it's so fun that way because nothing is scripted. Everything is just, the way you see it.
And real.
But there, one thing I do want to let everyone know is you can find her shop at sweetheartalabama.com.
Mm-hmm.
And it's got all of her social media links. She will be updating her website, she said, really soon. Yeah. But if you click that shop now button, I'm going to bring this up here. And then that way people can see.
And there'll be I'm going to offer another option for people who hate Amazon. I'm offering a Walmart shop option as well.
Oh, nice.
Oh, wonderful.
So that's not up yet. It will be. And so you'll have 2 shops. So you can shop at 2 different places. And I'd appreciate anybody just stopping by. Also, Sweetheart Alabama on TikTok. Would love to hear from you. Yeah.
We love TikTok. We have so much fun, and honestly, it's really one of the best places to be so here lately, I'm scrolling through. I'm like, oh, she's there. She's live.
Yeah.
She's live. Yeah. But she is going to be bringing back some more of our Tuesdays and Sundays.
Oh yeah. It's going to be a little bit more deliberate and a little bit more of how can I actually help people? When we started, I think with everybody, when everybody started TikTok, it was just to connect with people, really. And I love that. I need that. But I also want to say, how do I help people the most effectively, right? And so that's why I'm going to be doing it a little bit more deliberately with the lives and with my subscription base for TikTok, and just if you're going to spend time with me, I want to be able to help you with something.
Yeah. And it is. It's so, there's so many times where I just needed, to take that deep. I needed the reminder that just take that cleansing breath and let it go. And, it's become something that we just truly, we enjoyed doing on Sundays and Tuesdays. Yeah. I know most of us gals, and guys and gals
too. Yeah.
Yeah. We got a lot of people that come in there and hang out with us. Doesn't matter if you're a guy or a gal, we have fun.
As long as you're nice to everybody else.
And respectful and just enjoy, have fun,
Yeah.
But I want to close this out with our favorite saying, and that way people can a little bit understand about our favorite saying. And we'll go ahead and let you take our closing out. So,
all right. Well, should I explain the tree, or?
Yes, you can explain the tree and then tell them to come watch when you start doing your.
I tell you what, and you'll get the full effect of this when you do come hang out with some of our lives. But I kind of created this tree, the idea of a tree as a safe place to go to when you're stressed out, or when you need help falling asleep, or when you want to meditate. And so I describe a tree, but I leave it kind of up to you to exactly what it looks like. And so at the end of that, it's sort of a guided meditation to get you up in that tree and just relax so that you know how to get there on your own. And at the end, I say, always, I will see you at the tree. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone, so much. And remember to go follow her TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram.
Not right now. We're building that later. Yeah.
Working on Instagram. We will update that soon. Yeah. And then if you have any questions, reach out to her. She tries to jump on lives throughout the week. Throw some hearts her way, some little gifts. Yeah. That's my favorite.
Thank you very much.
Magic hands, magic fingers.
Awesome.
And just, be sure to support your local small businesses. It
Please.
means
Yeah.
it means more than you could even know. Like I know Danan and I would talk a lot about this, but even Carol and I, when we're in Louisiana, we shop in the historic district of Denham Springs. We're friends with the antique stores there. We try to support when we go to a town, when we're at a convention, we eat local, we shop local. Because if we're not supporting our small businesses or our local businesses, then box stores are just going to come take over. So
exactly. Yep.
Yeah. So everyone, it has been wonderful. Danan, thank you so much.
Thank y'all. I appreciate it.
We're gonna have to get you on up here to Montgomery. We just need a lunch date or something. I think we both
will
do that really
Crystal
soon.
finds good haunted places to eat.
Yeah.
Carol hasn't got to come to Greenville yet.
Yeah, we'll get you. We'll get you.
The Shoney's in Greenville, it's haunted. That light was just a flickering and things were moving all over the place.
Oh,
when I was
wow.
in there last summer. It was Shoney's. So there's that. It was Shoney's. Well, thank you, ladies, so much. It has been wonderful. Thank you all for coming and watching and chatting with us tonight. Be sure to like, follow, and share. And be sure to go and follow Danan at Sweetheart, Alabama. Again, you can find her on YouTube. You can find her on TikTok and on Facebook. So ask questions, enjoy your night, and be sure to be amazing always. Love you guys.
Night all.
Good night.